It's funny because I know you and your wife have this ongoing debate about the timing of college. You know,
Yes.
you're both educators,
Yes.
so no
Yes.
one doubts that you both want her to go to college. But you're on the side of, hey, you know what? Maybe not right away, right?
Absolutely. I've met kids that were at the peak of their career at 17 and a half, 18, senior year, and they went on to college and left the industry. And when they tried to come back after college, that opportunity was gone. So you're a has-been. So I believe in taking advantage of things. When we first started off 3.5, 4 years ago, I talked to Zendaya. I said, hey, baby, if this lasts 15 minutes, we're going to make one heck of a 15-minute run out of it. If this is your 15 minutes of fame, we're going to ride with it. And so far, it's been 3.5 years. So we're still working on it. You know, it's a work in progress, but what we really, really want to focus on is her future, as opposed to education comes first. We want our daughter to be educated, but all in the same token, why is she going to school and college? To get an education. To get an education to get a good job. Well, she has a good job. That's my argument with my wife. She has a good job.
Pretty good one.
She has a good job, and we surround her with some of the most brilliant minds of our time. Our entertainment group, our business consultants, the executives that work for her. I mean, she's getting an education that she could get nowhere on the planet.
And what's cool about what you said when you said, hey, if this is your 15 minutes, we're going to ride with it, is that you involve your daughter in the business aspects of her career, which is something that you don't see a lot of celebrity parents do. Why was that important at a very young age for you to do that?
Well, I'm a little older. And I want, we don't know how long we're going to be there for our children. And so you want your children to be independent of you and to make their own choices, to be informed so that they can make the right choices. So one thing I learned about this industry like 3.5 years ago, I noticed when I would take Zendaya on auditions that mothers would do all the talking for their children. Like if you were interviewing a kid and the mom was standing there, you'd ask the kid the question, the mom would answer. You ask the kid another question, the mom would answer. This industry wants to fall in love with your child because that's who they're working with. They don't want to work with a busybody, mouthy parent that's in the way. So I let Zendaya speak for herself, and I want her to be an entrepreneur that can see all the different businesses that come out of her career, and I want her to own those businesses. I mean, not just own them in name, but run those businesses, take part in it, be a part of her employees and the people that work for her, and learn from the brilliant minds that I surround her with. And she's doing a pretty good job.
It's crazy because lots of people don't understand to the extent to which you do that this is a business.
Absolutely.
That celebrities are businesses, which is the whole idea of all the interviews that I do is to understand that. But you wanted her to take ownership. The company Mobley that you work with, you've taken stock. I would assume that if they wrote you an outright check, it would have probably been more than they were in a position to write as a startup.
Yes.
But that giving you stock was a way to get her involved. When you entered that specific deal, did you look at, were you influenced by people like 50 Cent who took stock in vitamin water and got this $100 million reported windfall when they sold to Coca-Cola?
Absolutely. That was one of the first things that came to mind. You know, I never really did the research on the story, but the story, I got the story. Is like,
you heard enough of it.
I heard enough of it. Like, they didn't have money to pay him, so it's like, let's work something out. And of course, Zendaya's a celebrity, and she has a built-in following. It kind of makes sense.
Yeah. It's a hell of a college fund, I bet.
And as long as they're respectful, the company itself.
Well, that was my
about-
question.
yes.
Do you do due diligence, a lot of due diligence? Do you ever worry about when you align with these companies, them making a mistake that somehow influences her brand? Because they're going to be worried about any person that they sign with. They have moral clauses in the contracts, making sure that the kids don't get DUIs and all of these things that could cause their brand to be tarnished. Do you worry about the companies you align with?
Well, I learned a long time ago that you have to manage all the people in your organization. That means you have to manage your attorneys, you have to manage the publicists, you have to manage the agents, you have to manage everyone, because everybody has their own agenda and it has to be under one accord. And so my biggest challenge is to make sure everybody is on the Zendaya project and that she's a priority. So when it comes back to companies, I have people, the attorneys, really make sure that those contracts are respectful of Zendaya's brand, and that when you work with Zendaya, you can't just take Zendaya's name or Zendaya's image and just go and do as you please with it, because we've made sure that there are clauses in there. Everything has to be approved by her and through us.
And of course, you have lawyers watching, accountants.
Absolutely. And friends watching them.
Do you worry about the pressure of this on your daughter? Because it is a lot. I mean, even she's been up all morning. She's running around from city to city doing these shows. She's a 16-year-old kid. I know she's very mature, but do you ever worry that it's too much?
What I worry about first and foremost is her health. Because Zendaya, I wish I were more like her, but sometimes eating is a waste of time for her.
She's a vegetarian.
She's a vegetarian who doesn't like vegetables. So getting her to eat and make sure that she has proper nutrition and refuels her body and gets the appropriate amount of rest, that's our biggest challenge. Mm-hmm. But I imagine that's every parent's
Well, it's not every
challenge.
parent. I know some kids who can eat.
Yes, theirs is the reverse. How do we get you out of the kitchen and onto the playing field? Get some exercise and.
When you find out, please tell me, because then I can get out of the kitchen.
Yes.
What about you? Do you feel pressure?
For me, again, I have some of the most brilliant minds around me, and I don't make just single decisions based on, oh, I like that. No, I get together with our organization and we sit down and we discuss moves. And we work through it, we think it through, and then we make a decision. Otherwise, if it were me and my life, then I could just say, hey, I like that, let's do it. But this is my daughter's. This is her life. And it's our responsibility as parents to make sure that we make the right decisions for her future. This is not my future, it's her future. So, and to inform her about the decisions that we make.
What would you say if right now she came to you and said, Daddy, I don't want to do this anymore?
Hey, I go back to teaching school.
Really?
I'm out.
Would you try to convince her to stay in?
No.
Has she ever come to you and said that?
No. The only time she came to me to ask my wife and I to do something a little different, she came to us and said, listen, I think I have a real shot at winning this Dancing with the Stars. So I want to focus on my rehearsals and really focus on these dances. Can we not take so many meetings and not do so many premieres and all of the other stuff, and let's put the album and the records on hold because I want my focus to be here. And we complied.
You think? Smart move, smart kid.
Yeah.
Kazembe, thank you so much.
And thank you.
And with Kazembe Ajamu, the father of Zendaya, I'm Lee Hawkins. We'll see you next time.
My main thing is to grow with your audience, and to especially not to try to outgrow your audience too quick. Because I'm saying, you know, I have a lot of young kids watching me. I'm not going to all of a sudden start catering to Rihanna's audience and neglect the audience that I have. I'm a big fan of hip hop, and I'm a big fan of pop music. So it's kind of taking that pop sound and, you know, edging it up, add a little more urban twist to it, and make some really quality music.